Hey guys, it's so nice to have you back on Burgers to Beast today. If you're new to this channel, I'm Kripa and nutrition is my jam. So depending on who you speak to in the fitness industry, you're going to get a different take on which the best diet for you is. Some days paleo is all the rage, the next day keto is the best. I'll throw in intermittent fasting too. But there's a widespread notion that calorie counting is the best method, and that's what we're going to explore today. To start with, I just want to say that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Just because something worked for someone else, it may not necessarily work for you. No two people will respond to the same diet the same way, so you have to find what works for you. But what exactly is a calorie? So 1 kilocalorie is nothing but a unit of energy. It's the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So on paper, a calorie is just a calorie. It doesn't matter where does it come from. Okay, so let's assume I gave you an allowance of 1000 calories. Now I gave you 1000 calories worth of Snickers, which is 4.5 bars. Or I gave you 1000 calories worth of cauliflower, which is about 3 kilos. There's no way they'd affect you the same way. But chances are you'd blaze through the 4.5 bars of Snickers in no time. But you'd really struggle with the cauliflower. Not to mention, nobody can possibly eat that much cauliflower in one go. And they won't affect your body the same way. Now, both your Snickers and your broccoli or your cauliflower for that matter are carbohydrates. But they'd affect your body very differently. Here's another issue with calorie counting. Unless you're actually weighing and measuring your food, 100% precision or accuracy with calorie counting is close to impossible. Because look at it this way. An apple grown in Nepal is definitely not going to be the same number of calories as a local Indian apple. More so, a large apple doesn't contain the same number of calories as a small or a medium apple. And when we're logging it into whatever tracker we're using it on our phone, we don't tend to look at these things. Also, there's a slight chance that we tend to get dishonest with ourselves. Because I don't know about you, but this has happened to me. I sat down with a jar of peanut butter and a spoon, and I've taken out 1 tablespoon and logged it into my tracker, saying I ate 1 tablespoon. But if I were actually to go and weigh and measure what I actually ate, that was worth 2 tablespoons. Because 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is not the heap tablespoon we tend to think it is. It's probably about 3/4 leveled. So just a minute ago, we spoke about how Snickers and broccoli or cauliflower were just both essentially carbohydrates. And now a small part of you is probably thinking, what about protein? What about fats? Does it matter whether I get my 100 calories from proteins or fats or carbohydrates? Yes, it does. Because all the 3 macronutrients are digested very differently in your body and are metabolized very differently. So that means that your body doesn't respond to each one of them the same way. Now 100 calories of fat would probably take a lot longer to digest than 100 calories of carbs, which would probably fulfill you for just an hour or 2. Fats, on the other hand, would keep you fuller longer. Now, a lot of you must be thinking that I'm probably eating, say, just 1000 calories a day, but I'm not losing weight. So look at the quality of what you're eating. Are those 1000 calories just of one food group? Is it just carbs? Is it just protein? Or is it just fat? Because anything in excess will get converted to fat. Lastly, do you remember this game called Tetris we used to play as kids? And that's sort of what calorie counting, or if it fits your macros, is like. We eat what we want through the day and then scramble through the rest of the day to fit it into our macros. So it becomes this complex math equation, which is extremely tedious. Okay, so you must be thinking you need to eat less than you burn to lose weight, and you're absolutely right. So let's say you start eating 2000 calories instead of 2500. You started eating 1 toast instead of 2. You started eating half a brownie instead of 1. That's amazing. You've managed to cut down your calories. But if you look at it closely, you haven't changed the quality of your foods. So although you may have lost weight, you may not have lost fat. So you're probably starting to see the slight flaw with calorie counting now. So what do? Here's a really simple way to look at your food without weighing and measuring it. Start with the usual circular plate. Start with dividing half of it and keeping half of it as just vegetables. These don't have to be extravagant. It could be something as simple as cut cucumbers or carrots. Now you have half your plate left. Divide half of it further. So 1/4 of your plate should be protein and the remaining 1/4 should be starch, grains or fruit. and of course includes some fat. Now your fat could come as cooking fat like oil or ghee, or you could throw in some nuts and seeds as well. And it's really simple. You don't actually have to weigh anything, but it's just a way of eating balanced meals. Don't get me wrong, I have the utmost respect for the people who carry around a weighing scale or have the dedication to sit and weigh and measure every morsel they eat. It requires immense discipline. But also, this one's for the people who get disheartened looking at that. You don't need to. 100% perfection is not required for people like us who just want to stay fit and healthy. You just need to eat well-balanced meals, less processed foods and more real foods. So that's it for today, guys. If you like what you see and want to stay updated with the latest fitness, nutrition and health tips, like and subscribe below. Until next time, keep these things.